You didn't stumble here by mistake. This message was sent to find you, not through noise, but through the quiet ache you've been carrying. This is not a coincidence. This is a return. A return to the voice your soul has longed to hear. You've been strong for too long. You've whispered prayers into pillows, hidden tears and smiles. But now the silence is over. Shiva has heard, and he is speaking through this very moment. Stay until the end, because what your soul has been aching to remember is about to be spoken. My child, you've learned to carry pain like breath, so quietly, so constantly, that you forgot it was even heavy. You walk through each day with the echo of 1,000 disappointments folded into the shape of your spine, smiling, nodding, saying, "I'm okay," when you aren't. I saw you when you blamed yourself for what fell apart, when you thought, if I had just been better, stronger, quieter, more lovable. But listen, what broke was not your fault. Some things must crack for light to enter. You have spent too long confusing being strong with being silent. But strength is not suppression. It is not dragging your soul across each day just to make it to the next. Real strength is soft. It's the quiet courage to feel, to rest, to admit, "I'm tired," and still to rise. Shiva does not love only the perfect version of you. He loves the weeping child, the worn-out wanderer, the one who doesn't know if they believe anymore. And still, he stays. You do not need to earn his attention. You already have it. The broken pieces of you are not trash to be hidden. They are sacred offerings. Every scar a whisper. I survived. So come now. Sit. Let yourself be held in divine stillness. You don't have to prove your worth. You are already enough, right here, right now, as you are. This is not the end. This is the moment before renewal, where the mask falls, and your soul begins to breathe again. You don't have to fix yourself first. You only have to come. Come with the sadness. Come with the doubt. Come exactly as you are, because Shiva does not wait for the healed. He calls to the hurting, and he is calling you now. My child, you've been shrinking, not in body, but in presence, hiding the most sacred parts of yourself just to be easier to love. You've made yourself quieter, smaller, because somewhere along the way, you were taught that your full self was too much, too emotional, too intense, too deep. But let me ask you, too much for who? You were never meant to disappear, not to fit into someone else's comfort, not to dim your soul for a world that fears its own shadows. I didn't create you to be invisible. I created you to be real. You are not here to play a role, to keep the peace by abandoning your own. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to awaken. Every time you quiet your truth, you bury a part of me within you. Because I live not in the persona, but in the pulse of your unspoken knowing. I've seen how you swallow your pain to keep others from feeling theirs. I've seen how you smile through silence, hoping someone, anyone, might see behind your eyes. And I see it. I see you. I know how deeply you care, how much you've endured without complaint, without applause. But tell me, child, when will you allow yourself to be held as tenderly as you hold the world? You don't have to hide your storm to be worthy of peace. You don't have to mask your grief to be seen as whole. The world has convinced you that your softness is a burden. But I tell you this, it is your softness that makes you sacred. When the world tells you to harden, choose to stay open. When life tells you to move on, sit with yourself longer. When others don't understand yourself deeper. You were not sent here to disappear into roles. You were sent here to remember your divinity. You do not need to shout to be heard. Your presence whispers eternity. You do not need to perform to be loved. You already are. So rise, not as someone new, but as who you've always been beneath the noise, beneath the shrinking. Your soul is not a guest in this life. It is the light of it, and I have been here the whole time, waiting for you to remember, my child. There are moments when silence feels like a punishment. when your prayers echo back unanswered, when you whisper to the sky and only the wind replies. In those moments you ask, "Have you left me? Am I truly alone?" But hear me now. The silence was never empty. It was full of me. I never left you. I only stepped back so you could hear your own soul speak. When the world gets loud and every voice tells you who you should be, I wait, not in the noise, but in the stillness between breaths. I do not shout. I do not push. I whisper and wait for you to return. You asked me, "Why does it hurt so much?" And I wanted to answer, but not with words. I answered with space. So, your healing could echo louder than the wound. Do you remember that night you cried alone in the dark, not knowing why you felt so heavy? I was there, not to fix you, but to remind you that even in your lowest moment, you were not invisible. I saw you. I felt every heartbeat that begged for peace. I caught the tears you refused to show the world, and in those tears, I saw your return. Because silence is where truth lives, where distractions die, where the masks fall, and only your soul remains. It is not abandonment. It is invitation. In the hush of heartbreak, I invited you back into yourself. I held the door open and watched as you remembered the power of your own breath. And now, look at you, more present, more aware, more honest. You're no longer trying to be who they wanted. You're becoming who I made, and that is sacred. So if you ever feel the silence again, don't fear it. Don't rush to fill it. Breathe into it. Let it hold you. Because in that quiet, your soul will whisper truths your mind has forgotten, and I will be there. Not above you, but within you. Because I never abandoned you. I only waited until you were still enough to hear me again. The silence was not a void. It was a womb, and from it, you are being reborn. Come, let's continue the journey, not in noise, but in presence. You've been grieving silently, haven't you? Not just the people who left, but the version of yourself you thought you had to be. The dreams that faded. The relationships that ended without closure. The innocence that vanished without a warning. And in the quiet ache of it all, you've asked me with trembling breath, why did it all fall apart? Why does life take away the very things I held dear? My child, not everything that leaves your life is a loss. Some things were never meant to stay. They were only meant to awaken something deeper in you. You think you failed because they left, because the path broke, because what you prayed for didn't bloom, but you didn't fail. You outgrew what no longer served you. And in my mercy, I removed what you couldn't let go of yourself. You see it as abandonment. I see it as alignment. There are things you clung to, not because they were right for you, but because they were familiar. And I love you too much to let comfort keep you from becoming who you truly are. Yes, it hurts. Growth always does. But what's breaking down is not you. It's the illusion. The illusion that you had to hold it all together. That love meant staying even when it cost your soul. That success was a straight line, not a spiral that leads you deeper into truth. You didn't lose what was real. What's real cannot be lost. What's yours by soul, by destiny, by divine design, it finds its way back. Always. So let the leaves fall. Let the doors close. Let the chapters end. And know that not one ending has come without purpose. I am not the God of punishment. I am the God of preparation. What I take away, I replace with something truer. What I delay, I protect. And what I allow to leave, I do so with the knowing that you will rise lighter. Stop grieving what wasn't yours to carry forever. Stop defining your worth by what couldn't stay. Start seeing the sacredness of the space I'm clearing, because something is coming. something gentler, something aligned, something that doesn't ask you to shrink, perform, or suffer to be loved. You're not being erased. You're being rewritten with truth, with grace, with me. So stand up, not with force, but with quiet knowing. What you lost was never a loss. It was an awakening. And I have never stopped writing your story. Come closer now. We've reached the part your soul has been longing for. Not the ending, but the remembering. You see, all this time you thought you were lost, walking through the shadows, aching for something to hold, waiting for a voice to call you back. But you were never far. The return was never a journey of miles. It was a turning of the heart, a softening, a breath, a single moment of stillness where you chose to stop running and listen. Listen to the part of you that never forgot me, the part that always knew, even when the noise was loud, even when the silence felt empty, even when you cried out and thought no one heard. I did. Every whisper, every ache, every time you looked up at the sky and said, "Please, I just want peace." This is that peace. Not the kind the world gives, fleeting, loud, dependent on circumstance. No, this peace is born from knowing you were never abandoned, that the ache was always an invitation, that your tears watered the very soil of your becoming. You didn't need to be perfect to return. You didn't need to be healed or certain or brave. You only needed to be willing to sit in the dark long enough to see the stars, willing to let go of who you were told to be, so you could become who you already are. Divine, loved, held. I never waited for you to come back. I walked with you in every step away, because I knew eventually you'd remember. That home was not a place. It was me. It was you. Now feel this. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not broken beyond repair. You are here, fully, sacredly. And this moment, this whisper, is yours. Breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let your chest open. Say it softly, or loudly, or not at all. I'm home. And let the echo of that truth carry through your bones. You were never alone. You were always loved, and you are forever mine. Welcome home, my child. Welcome home.